people. That's our Teacher of the Year, Ms. Jessica Kester, is first grade teacher at Midway Elementary School, as well as our Service Employee of the Year, 2015, Tara Baker, who's secretary at Guy Valley Middle School. Before we get into the actual ceremony, I want to pause for just a moment to do some introductions. I'll start with the board members who are here with us this evening for the ceremony. On my left, we have Larry Wilkerson, and beside of him is Mr. Fred Curry, who's the vice president of the board. And guy in the middle is our board president, Steve Priestley. And to his right, we have board member Ralph Baker.
His left?
You're right.
His left?
His left, thank you. And Mrs. Carol Smith, she is not with us this evening.
I think she's out of the country.
You think she's out of the country?
Literally.
With her family.
I'd also like to recognize my secretary, Mrs. Powell, who's with us this evening. And she's spent a lot of time putting everything together for our ceremony this evening. And she's been cooking since about, what was it, 4:30 or so, getting everything together. And
Yeah, yesterday evening and then a little bit
Yeah.
Saturday.
thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Jason Tabretta's Assistant Superintendent Bill Linville with us this evening. Also from the central office we have Mr. Kirk King, who's our Federal Programs Director, is joining us as well. So again, I welcome everyone. I'm glad that you could be here. You know, the Teacher of the Year program has been around for several years. Shooting from the hip, but I would say around 50 years that the state has recognized an individual for this award. And the criteria for the Teacher of the Year award, I want to read this to you. It's just 4 areas that I want you to know that we look at when we're determining who this selection is going to be. But this is a person who inspires students of all backgrounds and abilities to learn, has the respect and admiration of students, parents, and colleagues, someone who plays an active role in the community as well as the school, someone who's poised, articulate, and possesses the energy to withstand a taxing schedule. Those of us who are educators that in a classroom know what a demanding, challenging job it can be. I say all the time, you know, that it's as much an entertainment business as it is teaching. And, you know, you have to be on your toes all the time. And, you know, for most of us, you know, got into this field, you know, we love children. And Ms. Kester, I know that being in your classroom, that that's such a person. We have many wonderful teachers in our school system who are teachers as a result of a calling, and it's not just a job. And that's very important. You know, most of us got into this field, into the business of teaching as a result of educators that we had while we were in school. And I've shared with some of you my story. And in fact, I was inspired by my 7th grade math teacher when I was a student at Branson Elementary. That instilled that love of learning for me. And, is the reason that I eventually did go into the field of education, become a teacher. And there were others along the way that I think back on fondly, and the influence they had on me as a student, and as well as my career once I got out of high school. So with that said, when I read Ms. Kester's application, what was fascinating to me was the fact that you knew so early on as a 1st grade student. Was it Mrs. Elise Thompson, right? Is that her name?
Yep.
Been a while since I've read the application, right?
Yep.
The name, you know, instilled that love of learning for Ms. Kester. And she knew then that what she wanted to do. I pulled a little excerpt out of Ms. Kester's application because in that application it asked several questions, and one of the questions it asked was, what does it mean to you to be a teacher? And this was really poignant, it stood out to me. Jessica indicated that it's about making a difference in the world, helping students see their potential and bringing them up to greatness. Teaching is much more than covering standards, but instead to motivate, encourage, and inspire students to be successful. Jessica, she understands. You understand what it's like, or what what it means to be a teacher. And for me, that really speaks volumes for the work that you do. I'm going to step aside for just a moment. I'm going to have Mr. Davis. I invite him to be here this evening to say a few words.
Well, obviously I was 100% behind Ms. Kessler nomination by the staff for this award, and I encourage her for this award for many reasons. She is just a ball of fire in the classroom. And to walk into that room, sometimes it's hard to find her because she blends right in. She's doing what the kids are doing. She blends right in. And I mean, she's up leading them. It's just amazing. And every person that has ever come to Midway and walked into her classroom, they say the exact same thing. And several people have told me, I'm talking about outsiders who have come in and said, I've not seen anyone as good as her anywhere that I've observed the classroom. She's that good. And this year, at the beginning of last year, I should say, I told her, she's a young teacher, and of course, she's on staff where there's a lot of veteran teachers, and I told her, I said, it's time for you to step up and be a big time leader in this school. And everything I've asked of her, I put I've asked her to lead professional development. I've asked her to lead book studies. I've asked her to go to conferences, and she has not even thought twice about it. And she came to me this year because one of our first grade teachers who was on the leadership team, Miss Wanda Wade, retired, and she said, hey, I want to be on the leadership team. So she is. And she should be, because she's a leader. And to be such a young teacher and have the respect of all the veteran teachers, and not just the teachers, every employee in that building, says a lot about her. And as a parent, I really want to thank her, because she brought out the love of reading in my child, and my child blossomed. She was not a great reader. Matter of fact, Anna Marie asked if she could say some words tonight, and I told her probably not. But she brought out the love of reading in my child, and I want to thank you for that. So, congratulations.
Jessica? Come on up. On behalf of the Board of Education, myself, I have something that every teacher treasures, and that's a $100 Walmart card.
Thank you.
3, 2, 1. And one more. 3, 2, 1. Thank you.
Congratulations,
Thank
Jessica.
you very much.
It's up to you.
Yeah, I guess I could.
Step around the side.
This is why I don't have a podium in my room. I'm always wandering around and stuff. But I think it's a really big honor to be able to represent the county as Teacher of the Year, and I never would have thought in my entire career that I would be standing in this position, especially being such a young teacher. A lot of us are overlooked with stuff, and so I just came into this job and I just did it, and I never thought anything of it. I never thought to be recognized or anything like that, so this is a really big honor, and I know that I could not stand here without the help of everybody else, because good teachers don't become good teachers by themselves. They become good teachers because they watch other people, they steal stuff. They're always wanting to be better, and that's the only way I could be standing here. So just thank you, and thank you for being a good leader. And I don't know if I'll become a principal, but I know I've definitely seen one of the best. So it's something I'm still thinking about. But I just want to say thank you.
Jessica she'll be formally recognized on September the 9th. I don't know if you've received a communication yet or not.
In Charleston?
Yes,
from
by the
state superintendent?
Yes.
I was shocked to get that.
Yes, and it's a wonderful ceremony.
It's on my calendar.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
So, and as a result, you're also in the running for the State Teacher of the Year. And I've always said how awesome it would be to have a Lincoln County teacher receive that honor. So fingers crossed, right?
Exactly.
You know, I want to also recognize this evening Sean O'Donoghue. Sean, I appreciate all the support that you give the school system. I really, you know, genuinely appreciate everything.
Thank you.
The fact that you're here covering this evening, it means a lot. So.
No problem. Thanks,
Yeah,
Jeff.
and he's also an award winner.
Are you an award winner?
Yeah.
Yes, he won
Saturday night.
several
Oh, is that right?
broadcasting
State
awards.
awards.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. I'll ask Tom Robinson.
Good luck at that.
Okay, I'm now going to step aside. Mr. Nichols going to come up and introduce our Service Employee of the Year award.
Good evening. It's an honor and a privilege to introduce our Service Employee of the Year, Miss Tara Baker. She's been with us for 5 years, working at Hamlin, Midway, and Guyan Valley. You know, service is defined as an action of helping someone, but for her, it's helping everyone. Parents, students, teachers, Mr. Aggins especially. So it's great to be there. But she continuously goes beyond the call of duty, helping students, parents, and her colleagues at Guyan Valley School, often working late, as we know, and sometimes not getting overtime, but does whatever it takes to get the job. She goes beyond the call of duty. She treats everyone with respect, listens, she's a problem solver, and shows leadership in her role each day. She has successfully reduced the audit findings at Guyan Valley Middle School. She serves on the LSIC at Guyan Valley Middle School. She gives times to the beautification project over there. And, you know, we have Skype now, we have FaceTime. When you're talking to someone, you can see them. But when you call to Guyan Valley Middle School and Tara picks up a phone, you see a smile as she talks through that phone, and that's very important. You know, the first person people see when they come into school is the secretary, and they set the tone of what that meeting's will be the rest of the day. And you do an excellent job of doing that. She's also the one that buzzes you in, and sometimes I'll push it. If I don't get over in front of it where she can see me, she'll say, "Can I help you?" And she'll make sure she sees who I am before she buzzes me in. She does a great job of keeping everyone happy. She's the only person I know that can keep Lisa Chapman happy. So I got through it. With that, we'll ask Mr. Aggins to come up and say a few words, but we're very pleased for you in this award.
As Mr. Midkiff pointed out, we all know that Lincoln County Schools is not ran by the Board of Education or by the superintendent or assistant superintendent or any directors. We know that Brenda and Tina take care of all of them, right? Anybody disagree with that? That's what I thought. You're not going to do that in a public forum anyway. And as Mr. Linville has already stated, a great secretary is absolutely the backbone to successful school day. I've been on both sides of the fence. I've had great and not so great. I mean, I've seen examples of both, and I can truly say that Tara is she is the best. She's the best that I have seen. Worries herself to death to make sure that things are right. You know, makes a mistake in something and it keeps her up at night. You know, she has a desire to do quality work. You know, and that's just the type of person that she is, and that's the caliber of people that you want working in your school, is those who worry about their job and they want to do quality work. Mr. Linville stated most everything that I could say, sets a great tone for parents and visitors as they come in the building. asked me multiple times throughout the day, what can I do to make your day easier? You know, if it needs done, she's willing to do it. And like I said, stays after many hours to make sure that things are done. Various projects and things that go on, she is willing to spearhead those. And really, it takes a lot of load off of my shoulders. And she takes a lot of load off of teachers' shoulders when it comes to finances and you know, keeping track with their monies and how much they have and their orders. Sometimes when you order things, they don't always send it all. She's on it. She's excellent record keeper, and again, she makes Sky Valley Middle School. She's a huge part in the success that we have there. So I greatly appreciate her. I know my teachers greatly appreciate her. And, parent volunteer coordinator appreciates her. Everybody there. So again, I think this is a great honor and kind of a privilege to have her and her husband Mike and her boys Jared and Nate here with her tonight to support her. So thank you, Tara, and thank you, Mr. Lemon, Mr. Nicky, and the board. I appreciate your support as well.
Tara, you want to come up? You also have a $100 gift certificate for Walmart. You can probably buy a meal. But congratulations, you'll turn around. One more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're not gonna give
I know. I told Mr. I just read the reward, just one, rest of the week all done.
I don't know if I'd want to do
It's
only the third. I was giving him the day off.
As long as you feel landly. We're not going to start here for a few more minutes. We're going to start our regular meeting at 6 o'clock. So at that time, everyone who's come tonight, you know, you won't offend us one bit if you want to leave after this ceremony. Matter of fact, I'd wonder about you if you did, but you're welcome to stay. Some people like Sue, they come, they're gluttons for punishment. But no, I think I speak for all the board, how grateful we are for what you all do. Being a teacher myself, an elementary teacher too, I never could go down to that first grade now. I used to go down there and kind of get them riled up a little bit, but I really couldn't stay there. But I had great admiration for people at your level because, you know, you bring these little babies in and all of a sudden you have to transform them into somebody that all of a sudden is doing everything they're supposed to do and following all the rules. And on the side, they're going to, you know, learn how to read and write and all those kind of things. So greatest admiration for you. Glad to have you in this county and wish you nothing but the best as the years go on. Tara Baker, just coincidentally, I was talking to one of her past principals earlier today, and I said, you know, we're going to have this ceremony. And she goes, well, who's the service personnel going to be? And I told her. She goes, well, she's great. So she used to work for me. So I told Tara that earlier today. And I agree with what, who was it? Mr. Atkins said there. You know, having been a principal too, I know who runs the school, you know. Secretaries just do a little bit of everything. Cover for you when you need covered for and doing all these other things. So greatest admiration for what you all do. You know, school system, you know, our primary focus is to teaching and learning. But you know, just like any business or anything else, all these other cogs that have to be a part of that, you know, whether it's somebody driving a bus or cooking the meals for the kids or whatever it takes, all those things have to be done. So you have a great chore to do, and we appreciate all you do, Terry. Like I say, I've heard nothing but good things, and I'm going to have to stop in sometime and see you. I know how you all are. You down on the ground and get down to their level and all, so I understand they'll come home disheveled a little bit every now and then.
I'm disheveled now, you know.
But we, once again, appreciate everything you do, and we have our never-ending thanks. And on behalf of the parents that are lucky enough to work with you all, that you work with their children. I think I can speak to them too. Thank you for what you did. Anybody else have anything? Rowdy? You don't have anything to say, man?
That's quiet.
I don't know what's going on. But once again, thanks everybody for coming out. Are you gonna, is Brenda?
We're ready, the food's out
Okay,
there,
okay.
refreshments.
So some refreshments, and we'll wait until I think everybody's gotten their fill before we start here, our regular meeting. Thanks very much.
See, I tried to get Tara to give a speech, and she wouldn't, so I decided to shut up the rest of the night.
We'll talk with you.